Newt seems to be going out ugly. He's charging apparently $50 for a photograph with him. Thank God I got in under the wire, got one for free.
It's Tuesday, and here's what we're buzzing about at News Beast. The newest developments, the Trayvon Martin case with Harry Siegel. Lloyd Grove in the house, talking the latest on Newt's shame spiral, which I think at this point is the state of his campaign. And of course, the Supreme Court hearing today on the constitutionality of the individual mandate. What was once not, in fact, the end of the Republic, but a conservative idea. First, Harry.
So Allison Samuels has a report in the Daily Beast today sort of detailing the latest. Basically, the Zimmerman camp, which seems to partly involve the police, is putting out their own counter-narrative now, running through Trayvon Martin's history of teenage behaviors. He said dumb things on Twitter. He got suspended from school. Clearly, he's as some of the right-wing blogosphere now has it, he must have been a thug as such.
Classic. No choir boy would be the theme.
No choir boy, which is a classic New York line. This has turned into such a national symbolic issue for reasons that are in some ways confusing. There's actually not a tremendous history of vigilante community patrol members in racially charged incidents.
That's right.
So what this is supposed to represent in certain ways hasn't been clear, and as this becomes a way to have a national conversation about race, it seems like a difficult surrogate. So Jesse Jackson has been down there. This is his third bite at the sort of having a new civil rights movement and street theater revival in the last 2 years, going back to Wisconsin,
right,
which he called a Martin Luther King moment and a Gandhi moment and the start of a new
Gandhi
movement.
Okay.
Then he showed up when I was covering Occupy and had a interesting, completely pointless encounter with the police about taking down a medical tent back when they were in Zuccotti Park. And now he's down here, and it's a strange conflation of this tragedy that's happened in this very ugly seeming incident where the police do not seem to have handled their business well. Mm-hmm. There seem to be very stupid laws in play that are helping to protect Zimmerman from the consequences of his best unintelligent actions from what we know. But
the absurd presence of the new Black Panthers getting any airtime at all. Talk about classic left-wing nuttery. It's just absurd.
It's bad work by television. Those are people to ignore.
Let's move ahead to a story that we haven't been covering for a matter of weeks, but months, if not seasons, the presidential race. Newt Gingrich. Now at this point, he's trying to hawk his photograph to raise some cash? What's going on here?
Newt seems to be going out ugly. Yes.
That never happens.
He's charging apparently $50 for a photograph with him. Thank God I got in under the wire, got one for free.
Really? That's all the virtues of Florida.
Absolutely. And he's canceling campaign events. He was supposed to be in North Carolina today. That's done. Instead, he's just sort of hanging around McLean, Virginia, and points that are nearby where he lives.
Children's books. Alice the Elephant is
Callista's the one with the travel schedule. She's going on a book tour. She's in Wisconsin, where the next primary is, and presumably.
And Newt just decided not to accompany his bride to Wisconsin.
No, instead they have campaign staffers who have to dress up in elephant costumes. So that's bad. And meanwhile, the other guy, Santorum, he has a shot at Wisconsin, presumably, arguably, but I think he's kind of bowling alone at this point. There's no.
Nicely done, yes.
Thank you. He doesn't seem to be getting a lot of traction politically.
Well, and he was up double digits in Wisconsin before Louisiana, and I continue to think it's a minor scandal that he got no coverage for a 25-point win in Louisiana. But Wisconsin's really the jump ball, and you do get that weird sense of when he's at these pivotal primaries that he kind of starts phoning it in a bit.
I think
there's not a lot of message discipline.
None at all, and he seems to be in the most sour mood after he wins.
Well, I'll tell you, fascinating thing for me is the way the turnout's actually going up, and his supporters are more intense than ever, I think, buoyed by the Indigo Girls themed Game On song, which we really should get. If you all want to come on News Beast to sing Game On, you are cordially invited. Yes, you are invited. Because I just think that whole thing is surreal, but very catchy. Supreme Court, this is clearly the big deal going on in American politics today. It has been called the 3 days that could end the American Republic by some overheated viewers. I have a story that's going to be up later today about how this was originally, of course, a conservative idea. I went and read the 1989 Heritage Foundation document, and they make essentially the same argument that you heard from Mitt Romney when he was governor of Massachusetts, and the Obama administration this time. Spoke to Senator Bennett, who was a co-sponsor on 3 Senate bills that used the individual mandate dating back as far as '93. So the pivot of this from being a conservative alternative to Hillary Care, that built upon the Republican idea of individual responsibility, to a road to socialism and a threat to the Constitution, is an extraordinary reversal. But it's all happening in real time today. What are your feelings about the case?
You know, it's so arcane to me, the legal arguments and the constitutional arguments. I have no idea, what will win on the merits, but it seems to me it'll probably be upheld by a 5-4 margin. That's my hunch.
And yet the Chief Justice Roberts doesn't like 5-4.
It's hard to imagine, as great this is as theater, that the justices haven't already made up their minds. You have these oral deliberations. They've been thinking about this and reading briefs for months. I've got to think that this is going to be at least 6-3-4. It's hard to see what the real constitutional issue is.
Which has more narrative energy, the Supreme Court today or the opening season of Mad Men?
Me wanting to put my head through this desk that you just asked that. Let's do final word. I want us to take a look at just what Justice Kennedy said. What questions does he ask? That's the swing vote of the matters. Final word, Harry.
Insurance is basically the house in a casino, and everyone has to gamble, and they're required to give 85 cents on the dollar back. Just think of it as slots. This all blows my mind.
What word? Slots?
Slots.
Slots. All right.
Chocolate. A new NIH study says that people who eat chocolate more frequently are thinner, which is great news for all of us. It makes me ecstatic.
That could have been the whole subject. I think it. All right. Mandate. That's what's happened today on News Beast and in Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court. We'll see you tomorrow.